Okay, let's get to it. Baiting with a spod is the topic of this next lesson. It's a great tool to help get the fish feeding. Let's start off with the basic principle of baiting. In case you didn't know, baiting is a term anglers use when they drop free bait in an area for the fish to eat. Now, why would any angler give away his bait if there isn't a hook on it? Well, it's kind of like opening a free all-you-can-eat buffet for fish. They can't resist it. Now, just think about having a well-placed hook in the middle of that feeding frenzy. Chances are you're gonna get a bite in the middle of all that mayhem. And that's baiting in a nutshell. Let's give it a try. First of all, get yourself set up on a peg, then you can equip your spod. Good. Now, take a look at your selection of rods. You should be able to see that you now have a spod available. Just select the spod and you'll switch to it. It's that easy. Now, let me explain what a spod is. That rocket-shaped thing on the end of your rod is the spod. It's loaded with bait, and each time you cast and it lands in the water, it's dropping its payload. That is what you want. It's basically saying to any fish in the area that the buffet is open for business. Give it a try. Cast the spod like you'd cast a normal rod. Try aiming it somewhere in the middle of the lake. Usually you want to bait an area a couple of times, adding loads of food to the area. To consistently cast the spod at the same distance, you can set the line clip. The line clip limits the amount of line that's allowed off the reel, and by setting the line clip, you'll hit the same maximum distance every time. Try setting the line clip, reel in, and cast out to that exact area again. That's the one. To unclip, simply unset the clip when the spod is in the water. Job done. Now, let's switch to a hook bait and get it out there before the frenzy begins. Okay, now for the difficult bit. You need to cast your line out to the baited area without the line clip. I'm going to teach you a little technique that should help you to do that. What you want to do is set yourself up to cast as far as you can, but when you release the cast, hold the line again to slow it down. This will slow the speed of the line coming off the spool and should help you to guide the rig to the same spot as your baited area. Give it a try. Do a powerful overhead cast, and as you release the line, hold the line again to slow it down. When you're slowing down the cast, you can also move the rod to the side to pull it in that direction. It's really handy for guiding the bait in the direction you want it to land in. Get in! You landed that perfectly in the mix. It doesn't look like the feeding frenzy started yet, so I tell you what, instead of standing like a spare part with your rod in your hand waiting for a bite, you could put the rod down and give your arms a rest. Ah, isn't that better? You're probably wondering how you know if a fish takes the bait. Don't worry. You see that rest your rod is on? Connected to that is what we call a bite alarm. When you got a fish on, you'll know because that thing will start beeping away like there's no tomorrow. Whilst you're waiting for a bite, you could go for a wander and see if there are any fish nearby. Or you could just relax and enjoy the tranquility. Hey, there you go. Quick, get to your rod and pick it up before the fish runs off with it. Go on now, you got this. Reel that fish in. That's another beautiful common you bagged yourself. You're getting the hang of this, aren't you? Well, that's all I could teach you about baiting. Let's put this one back and call it a day. You're in for a special masterclass session today. I'm going to be showing you my own preferred method of carp fishing, and that's a 3-rod setup. This is the most commonly used technique for carp fishing because 3 rods out... If you're going to fish with 2 or 3 rods simultaneously, you're going to need to fish from a peg, but you also need a few other things to get started. But for this lesson, you can just use my spare gear. Now, go and set yourself up on a peg. When you're fishing with multiple rods, you'll usually start with the first rod in your arsenal. If you want to change your tackle on a certain rod, you need to be holding it first. So, as you're already holding this one, why don't you change the tackle options on it? A little tip. I've cast around in this area and it's full of silt, so try switching to a rig and bait ideal for silt beds. Right, when you're ready, cast out and find the silt bed. Okay, we've got 1 rod out in the water. Now switch to your second rod and do the same thing. Just change the tackle to something that will match the bed type you're fishing on and cast out. Top stuff. We've got 2 rods out there now. Switch to your third rod, and this time we're not gonna cast out just yet. Instead, have a wander over there with that rod. I really like this fishing style because it allows you to leave 2 rods out in the lake and to take your third one for a little stalking session. It's important. Oh, wait a minute. Did you hear that? Quick, get back to your rod. You've got a bite. Hey, better hurry up or that fish is going to be off. Yes, fish on. Reel that one in. Come on, stay in control. There you go. How about that one then to end the session? Looks like you've got yourself a lovely looking common there. It just goes to show you that...